Right then, it's that time of the week again. It's Friday night, 9 o'clock. It's Friday night is onion night, the home of the Giant Onion Growing Challenge, where I've set a challenge to grow the biggest onions we possibly can using the variety Elsay from Foster Seeds. And if it's the first time you've tuned in, you're very welcome. And if you would like to take part, all you have to do is go to Foster Seeds, get a packet of their Elsay onions and join along. If you've got a channel, brilliant. Do little videos of your seed sowing, your potting on, how you do it, so we can all learn. I do the same. And at the end of Friday nights, we always have onion news, where I have a little catch up with everybody who has posted videos or whatever, or sent me photographs, so that we can all learn. Everybody gets to join in. It's a nice little community, and it's just a lot of fun. Right, tonight what I thought I'd do is just preempt sowing. Now, for people who've done it before, because we run the competition last year, you probably know all this, but for anybody new, I thought I'd just go over very quickly the sowing. This sowing, which I will be doing next Friday live, is for people that will be growing with grow lights. All right. Now, if you haven't got grow lights, don't worry about that. You would be able to take part, and I would suggest sowing for no lights like you would your normal onions. So personally, I sow mine on the shortest day in December. All right. So, but the actual sowing is identical whichever way you're going to do it. The only difference is, if you're sowing early, you are going to need some grow lights, all right, and not ones that cost you 30 quid. All right, I hate to say it, but they won't give enough light to your onions to really push them on. Now, to that end, let's do the sowing. Basic. You can sow your onions, either broadcast them in a pot like this, if you haven't got a lot of space. You get a slightly bigger pot. This is what I always used in the past. Worked very well. And once they germinate, you can then prick them out. All right. And there again, we'll go over all of that in up and coming videos. So if you've never done it before, don't you worry. I'll talk you through it. Other people that are a lot better than me, they'll talk you through it. I put everybody's videos that I can find in a playlist on my channel. All right, so you can scroll through and see them. Now, Jen, last year's winner, has already nailed her flag to the mast, as they say, and she's going to go for £10 this year. And she's highlighted the 10 things that she's going to do differently this year to try and achieve that. All right. And like I say, you can either go to her channel, she's got a playlist on it, or there's a playlist on my channel with everybody's list in it. All right. Right. Sowing. Now, this year, I'm going to try and do it the way Keith Foster actually does it. He does a little booklet. I got hold of a little booklet, and what I'm going to do is try and, as much as possible, replicate how Keith does it. All right. So to that end, the compost I'll be using is, for the sowing, is this Clover Professional pot bedding. All right, that's the compost I'm going to be using. compost at the seed stage, I don't feel is that critical. There again, just my point of view. And last year, we grew some great onions, had great germination, just using a bit of Jack's Magic. And the only thing I did to that was, to the compost, I added fine vermiculite, all right? And that's fine vermiculite. That's quite important. I mixed that by volume, 2 volumes of compost to 1 volume of vermiculite. Mix that all together, put it in the pot. Now, one thing I do think is quite important is to just firm down your compost. So you've got a nice, fairly firm, level layer, so all your seeds are on the same height, all right? You know, if you've got, just chuck your compost in, you've got peaks and troughs and all the rest of it. So for a nice, even germination, I'd recommend firming it down. Once you've put your seeds on top, personally, I like to cover them in the fine vermiculite. The main reason, there's 2 reasons for that. When you water, and I recommend watering from the bottom, like I know what I'm doing, but, and other people. When you water your seedlings, as the water comes up through, the vermiculite changes colour and goes a bit darker, and you can see that that then is hydrated, all right? And you can also keep an eye on it, because you can see that vermiculite is still damp, all right? Now, I am going to try heat mats under 1 tray this year. Normally, I just germinate in the kitchen. It's round about 18 to 20 degrees, and I've never had an issue with germination. But as an experiment, I am going to put 1 lot under heat mats with a heat mat underneath it, stick a probe in, regulate the temperature, and we'll see if that makes any difference to the germination. All right, just for a bit of interest. So that's the sowing, dead easy. This year I'm going to be sowing just to make it a little bit easier to check on the plants and separate them and look at them individually and choose the better ones, because we will be sort of discarding a few. I'm growing them in these 7-centimetre pots, all right? So I can get 15 in a seed tray or a gravel tray nice and easily. I can then take 1 out to water, easy, all right? But that's just what I'm doing. And then moving forward, they'll be going into 9-centimetre pots, 11-centimetre pots, and 14-centimetre pots. And there again, I'll show everything I do. So I'm going to be using the pot bedding to start them off. I'm then going to be going over to this again through Keith Foster, the BioBiz. Once I've pricked them out, potted them on, they'll be going into that. And then it'll be a mix of BioBiz and John Innes number 2. But all of this, you know, we'll go over. So that's seed sowing, nice and simple. Feed wise, there again through Keith Foster, I'm going to be using the BioBiz Bio Grow. All right, so this is what we're going to be doing this year. Now, one of the biggest questions new people ask, because we'll end up staking these onions to help them stay upright, is where do you get these stakes and these clips? All right, And what I'll do, I'll put a link, I'll probably try and do it in every video of where you can get hold of these. And you can do it by you can make them out of wire, you can do all sorts, but by far this is the easiest way to do it. Get hold of some of these. I go for the 2 foot 30 centimeter long ones, because then you can cut them in half and start off with the 1 foot, and then as the onions grow you can get rid of those, use the full length ones, so you only have to buy one size. Then the little clips, you just clip on, go around your onion and clip like that. Okay, simple as. I hope the audio's not too bad. We're in the middle of a storm down here, but I've been talking to a few people and I'm changing my mic, so hopefully we can get better audio in the future. So there we go, clips like that. All right, and I'll put a link to those. They definitely make things a lot easier having these clips. All right, now then, my biggest upgrade this year is going to be my grow lights. Now, last year and the year before, the ones I had were the very old-fashioned T5s that were the fluorescent strips, and they start off all right, but the light degrades as time goes on, because we'll be having these lights on for quite a while. So what I've done, I've gone for the Vivison lights, and these are aero lights, and I'll do a full, I'm not going to do an unboxing because it's what's in the box, isn't it? I'll just get it out and show you. And these grow lights have an integral fan in them that you can control with the monitor, so I'll be able to set light and airflow through the hub. All right, and one thing I've done to try and really dial in my my lights and the height and the value, the PPFD value that they're getting, and there again I'll go all over this in a bit more detail, is I've been out and I've got myself a power meter, and with this I can set the height and the intensity as best I can for the heights the onions are. All right, and you know, this, most people wouldn't buy this, but this is my hobby and this is what I'm really trying to get good at, so I have. And hopefully by me using it, I can give you a bit of a guide of your light height and your light intensity. All right, so I think we've pretty much covered everything. Seed sowing, whatever compost you like. I would recommend a bit of fine vermiculite. That's that. And yeah, so that's preempting next week when I will be sowing. With a bit of luck, I will be in new Onion HQ at the back at the house, but we're still in the process of clearing that out. So that's that. Right, because I'm in a bit of a rush, Anne's van put a stone through the sump, so we're down to one vehicle, so I've got to, yeah, she's got my van. Oh, it's chaos. Anyway, so let's get on with onion news. Right, I mentioned her earlier, Jen, last year's winner, nailed her flags to the mast, put out what she's going to do, what she's going to use, and she's got a playlist on her channel. And you could do worse than seeing what Jen did, and even go and look at what she did last year as a complete beginner, first time growing onions from seed. She went and won it, and I think the reason she won it is she really paid attention to what other people have done cherry picked the really good bits and implemented that and grew a great onion. She's going to be using air pots throughout once they've germinated, so that's going to be interesting to follow. I'm not going to. I may use air pots for the final potting, but we'll wait and see. So now, just a welcome to people who've said they're going to join in, new competitors if you like. We've got Paul's Garden Diary. We've got Jen, the Moorside Gardener, up there on the side of Bodmin Moor. We've got Claire. This is a bit of a maybe, but I'm hoping Claire will, from the Farmyard Garden. Great grower, has built a beautiful garden just outside of her house on her farm. Fabulous. I've sent some seeds off to her and hopefully she will have a go. We've got Deb's veg plot. She's going to give it another go. She says she's game. I've heard that about you, Debs. Jenny. Jenny from the plot. Or with her lady garden. She's going to have a go. That's going to be entertaining, isn't it, if nothing else. Robin from Robin's Garden over in Canada. She's going to share some seeds with Ali, My Rusty Gardens. Give it another go. Mark Miles is going to give it a go. And Casey from Casey's Allotment. I know she's brand new to having a go and feels a bit overwhelmed by what other people are doing. Don't you worry about that. Little steps. But what I will say is there'll be loads of good people showing you how to do things. Just hone in on what they're doing, because they know what they're doing more than I do. I'm just along for the ride and trying to get better and trying to pinpoint things. So that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Next week we will be sowing, and like I say, I'll be leaving some just in the kitchen and I'll be putting some under a heat mat to see if that makes any difference to germination. I know Jen's going to put hers on a heat mat. One little tip I did see for using a heat mat is if you can get a bit of that insulation board, you know, that they put between housing walls, or even a bit of reflective membrane underneath. It helps reflect the heat up and into your plants rather than it being absorbed below the mat. All right, so that's a little tip that I picked up from somebody else and seems to work really well. I'm looking around to see if I've forgotten anything. I don't think so. That's what we're up to. If you'd like to join in, or you know anybody that would like to join in, please share the video, give it a like, leave me a comment of anything like that. I did go up to Malvern last weekend, met Rob and Duncan and Elaine and Jim and Terry King. I met Terry King. Yeah. He's taller than he looks in real life, or looks on the video. I meant to bring some stuff that Elaine had bought me from home up to the tunnel. She bought me a lovely mug, and she bought me a John Salisbury onion that she's given me to try and put away for seed. So I'm going to have a go at doing that. Right, that's it. I've got to try and find a vehicle, get home, edit this, and upload it in time for 9 o'clock. Right, I best be off. Thanks for watching. Cheers and gone.